T. Higgins' availability for week 1 is in question right now due to a hamstring injury that came up later this week. Now it's leaking into Friday. As we're looking at the news, his hamstring injury is still lingering. Could linger tomorrow, the next game, preventing him from being able to play on Sunday against the New England Patriots. We're going to cover that on top of looking at the advanced analytics to see whether or not you need him for fantasy football or the next man up to patch up your offense. We're also going to talk about Ja'Marr Chase. Make sure you click that subscribe button right now, though, because we're doing these deep dives every single day. Those guys trending up, those guys experiencing major news, whether it's an injury, getting traded, whatever. Those guys on top of the waiver wire, everything else. Click that button. Stop missing out. But T. Higgins is dealing with a hamstring injury. Zac Taylor is just saying, hey, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We don't know. We'll see what happens with this. We'll see if he's in. We'll see if he's out. Typical Zac Taylor. He really just gives you the bland response. And he'll tell you on Sunday, in-game action, or when the reports are ran. So really, you cannot trust Zac Taylor. And we know we can't trust Zac Taylor. But we look at T. Higgins. When he's on the field, he's an upside machine. He gets the deep targets. He gets the air yards. And he gets the potential opportunity to just go off. When he's healthy, though. When he's healthy and on the field. Last year, he dealt with a hamstring injury. Year prior, he dealt with a hamstring injury. He's dealt with a hamstring injury every year since 2019. And you know what? He's doing it again here in 2024. And Ja'Marr Chase is back to practicing. And maybe with Higgins being out, maybe the Bengals will cough up a little bit more dollars to get Ja'Marr Chase signed. And why are they crossing a major street to get the practice? I know in training camp they practice damn near under an overpass. Now they got to walk across the major street right here just to get to practice. I remember doing that in high school at a smaller D2 high school. But now the Bengals have to do this as well. But Andrei Iosivas, Jermaine Burton, everybody's going to be looking at them. Yoshi's got the upside. Yoshi's the veteran, even though he's in year 2. And he produced a little bit, a tiny weensy bit last year. But we got good size, just athleticism. We can push the field. Jermaine Burton, he looked good in preseason. He had his moments. He's overall the most affluent talent on the roster behind T. Higgins and Ja'Marr Chase at the wide receiver spot. But it's going to take some time for him to develop, some time for him to ramp up. I like him better as a long-term option. But if Higgins and Chase are both out, shit's going to hit the fan. Andrei Iosivas is probably going to get opportunities and targets. He's going to get some workload. He's going to get the ball funneled his way. Jermaine Burton might be on the field more than what you thought and more than what we were projecting a few weeks ago. But we look at the Patriots defense in PPR versus wide receivers. They're allowing 32.7 PPR points per game as of last year. That could get locked down a little bit. But the thing about this, we don't have Ja'Marr Chase or T. Higgins, so you're going against the backups here at wide receiver. Sure, they might be getting some opportunity, but we're looking at the pace here. It might be a little bit slower as Cincinnati and New England. They're not the fastest paced team in the league, and they also don't run the most plays in the league. So this is going to be very interesting to see what really happens here. What if we just control it with the run game? And what if we just stay safe in the pass game? What if that happens? But if Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins is out, that is a big deal. There's a lot of targets that's got to spread out. Andrei Iosivas is the next man up. A lot of people are going to be getting him. He's going to be getting a lot of opportunity off the waiver wire. People are going to be pulling that string on DFS. It's going to be a cheap get, cheap dart throw. As a cheap, chalky play to throw into your lineups because a lot of people are going to be throwing him in. He's going to be getting opportunity. I don't think this is the greatest matchup, but I think this opportunity is going to be grand for a guy like him to exceed expectations. But the one thing you don't need to do is trust Zac Taylor right now. The one thing you do need to do is pay attention to the reports. T. Higgins out, Andrei Iosivas in because he's going to get deep targets. He's going to get opportunity, but the matchup's not grand. You might be plucking him off waivers. However, if you followed my advice throughout the whole offseason, you should be stacked at wide receiver, and this should not impact you at all. It should impact you if you got Ja'Marr Chase. T. Higgins maybe, because also you're getting elite wide receivers and you're just stacking wide receivers where you're benching a good wide receiver anyways. If you're following my advice of just getting wide receivers early, you should be good to go. this news shouldn't impact you that much. You don't have to FOMO over Andrei Iosivas right now. But if you got these players, you're wondering, and you're not great at wide receiver, you're better at running back, you might have to make that pickup to get by. It really depends on what else is on your waiver wire too. But you got to do what you got to do. Andrei Iosivas, if T. Higgins is out, is going to get opportunities. Going to run more routes at least. Maybe get a couple more targets. That might happen. And he's going to get a good average depth target. And hopefully, for your case, he brings in a couple of those deep balls because he will get deeper targets. And that could be a splash play machine. If you want a DFS option here, maybe Trent Irwin. Maybe Trent Irwin because he has popped off here and there off and on throughout his career. Maybe that Jermaine Burton as a long-term get. Also, he could be getting some opportunity in this game as well. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.